Hi there and welcome to my channel. I'm Jennifer. This is A Country Life, and today I am just doing some, I'm just in my kitchen. I'm doing meal prep. I don't even know if I call it meal prep, but more just sort of like food prep. So I already have in my Instant Pot is 2 wild turkey legs and thighs, and I put about a cup of water in there and a little over a tablespoon of chicken bouillon granules. So I put that in there. I set it for 50 or 55 minutes pressure cook because it is wild game and the legs are a little bit on the tough side. So I set it for 55 minutes. There's a chance that it might go longer. I don't know. We'll just kind of see how it is when depressurizes and all of that. Okay, and before we get into the kitchen and start on food prep for the day, I really want to do 2 things. I want to give you my total for groceries in February, and then I also want to give you a look at my pantry. Grocery total for February came in at $646.84, which was way over January's total. And not included in that is a $75 grocery bill for a guy's weekend. They went up ice fishing and that was the groceries. They did bring some of that home though, like they never opened the ketchup. They brought home some syrup. They brought home, I feel like they might have brought home some waffles or some cereal and other things, some chips they brought home. So they did bring some things home that we continued to eat. Or like there's the ketchup right there. We still haven't eaten it. So let's just take a look at the pantry though. So also included in that total, I bought 8 cans of coffee. So Fleet Farm had coffee on sale for $3 less than what I can get it for at Walmart, like just kind of day in and day out. And still $1 less than what I can normally get it for if I've been watching like the flyers over the last couple months, you know, and it was even $1 less than what I can find it at Pick and Save for when it's on sale. So I ended up going ahead and placing an order for 8 canisters. I had 3 already here, but I placed an order for 8 canisters of coffee. So although my bill was definitely up there, I have coffee here. I mean, this looks like we have a problem, don't we? But we have coffee for a long time. I also this month bought in 2 of these flats from Aldi. This one is half tomato soup, half cream of mushroom. And look at that, we still have a lot of that left. You remember this head. You got the basket on your head?
Yes.
Nice.
On top of my head.
On top of your head. Did you and Maria finish all the towels?
Yes.
Okay. And then this lower flat here is all chicken noodle soup, and we haven't even touched that one. We just finished our last one. Taking a peek around here, I did just pick up Crisco, so I have 2 full Criscos. I am stocked. Look at this. Barbecue sauce, ketchup, peanut butter. I'll still buy some more flour this month, but flour, brown sugar. I have a lot of pasta. There's 3 different bags of pasta there. Here's some more Barilla pasta. There's some Walmart pasta. I have a lot of pasta. I still have macaroni and cheese. We have a little bit of chips. Oh, this is jerky seasoning. That's, you know, doesn't really count. Not much for granola bars, just a little bit there. And here are the rest of my canned goods. Very disorganized right now, but I have a lot in here. So I have some more various soups, lots of canned vegetables because I've been, whenever they have them for under 50 cents a can, under 48 cents a can, I will pick them up. I have lots of black olives that I bought at 99 cents a can, and back in there, there are a lot of like beans and things like that. So even though I spent a lot, actually went over my budget just a little bit, there's a lot of stuff that I still have in the pantry. There's a number of things that I don't have in my pantry in just a little bit when you see all of the kitchen footage. Which I actually started filming before I filmed this part of the video. It looks like I know some things about what's to come and you haven't seen that yet. That's why, because I kind of filmed a little bit in reverse. But in a little bit when I get into the kitchen, you're going to see there's things that I'm out of. I'm out of white sugar. I'm out of cocoa powder. I'm out of thyme. I'm out of carrots now. I had to just put a small amount of carrots in my soup because I'm out of carrots. There are definitely things that I'm out of, but there's other things that I am very, very well stocked in. So grocery shopping this month is going to be a good one. All right, so that's everything that I wanted to share with you about the pantry and kind of how my grocery shopping has been going. I know that, I just know that there's a lot of you that are really interested in just kind of how that is going and how the flyer shopping is going. I have really been enjoying flyer shopping, and like I said in my recent Q&A though, if I had toddlers, if I had babies, if I had to haul everybody to the store all the time, I would not be doing it. I would be going to Aldi, because I have found that day in and day out, the Aldi prices are less expensive than the prices at other stores. So that's what I have going, and the plan is to either turn that into a turkey and stuffing sort of, maybe a turkey and gravy with stuffing on the side, maybe a layered casserole where you put the turkey and the stuffing and some gravy and you kind of put it all in a casserole pan and then pop it in the oven. I'm not sure exactly. It could even turn into turkey soup. I don't know yet. I also peeled almost 10 pounds of potatoes a few weeks ago. I peeled up 10 pounds of potatoes and made mashed potatoes for the freezer. We are out of those already. I don't know. We've just been in a mashed potato craze lately, and they're gone. And I loved having them in there. And ever since Warren made them the other night, and he just thawed them with some hot water quick in the sink, and they were just perfect. It was very fast. So I thought that that was a really, really great idea to just have some more in there, because typically what I do is I wait for them to thaw until I can break them in half, and then I put them in the crock pot. I stir them a few times throughout the day so that like any liquid that is in the mashed potatoes can kind of reincorporate and make them all creamy again. But that takes a little bit more time. So I really like what he figured out. So I'm gonna do that. But that has to go in the Instant Pot. I only have one Instant Pot. They're already peeled, so I hope that they don't like gray up or turn that, funny color before this is all done and I can get the potatoes in. I do have a few other things on my list today that I want to do in the kitchen. I thawed a package. It's almost 2 pounds of ground venison, so I would like to make hug and kiss soup today. We have not had that in a while. Hug and kiss soup is one of those things where I can make on the weekend. We don't have to eat it over the weekend though. We can save it in the fridge, and it just gets better day by day. I mean, I wouldn't save it for 6 or 7 or 8 days, but definitely 3 or 4 days in the refrigerator is not a problem at all, and then bring it back out and reheat it. Yum, the flavors just go through it so much the longer it sits. So okay, I'm doing the turkey legs, the mashed potatoes, wow, and then the hug and kiss soup, and then I just want to do some brownies. So I thought I would make like a batch of brownies right away, baked up all the way, and then I would like to make my brownie recipe just into mixes so that it's almost like having the store-bought quick brownies, just like box mix brownies, and I thought that would be really easy. Peter has again really been into being in the kitchen again. There she goes. Kids are cleaning today, so I said we need to get this house cleaned, and so in between this kitchen stuff, I'm doing laundry, I'm gonna be folding. Anyway, lots of cleaning going on. So, and somehow Sam must have, he must have bribed his siblings, because they're all in his room helping him clean, and that was Maria going to take the vacuum to him. So something's going on and no one is arguing, so I'm gonna go with it. All right, so anyway, back to the brownie thing. So what I want is to have just like brownie mixes ready. So all Peter has to do then when he wants to bake something up quick is add in the eggs, either oil, melted butter, or melted shortening, or a combination of any of those. So if you have my cookbook, and let me just show you. So if you do have my cookbook, on page 48 is a recipe for epic brownies, and today I'm actually going to frost the brownies because that just sounds so good, an icy cold frosted brownie, yum. But what I'll be doing is just mixing together all of these ingredients, so then when Peter wants to make the brownies, all he has to do is melt up a cup of fat. I encourage you, try different ways. Try half butter, half shortening, half butter, half oil, half shortening, half oil, whatever. You can really mix that up depending on what you have in the house and what kind of flavor you're really looking for. And when I do this, when I mix everything up, then I'm going to be, I actually have powdered vanilla right now, so I can just even add in the vanilla, which makes it even that much easier. So then we'll just have to put in the butter and the eggs. So I'll make it just like you would a box mix. I'll put the whole mix into a bowl. I'll stir in all of the eggs, Then I'll stir in the butter, mix it all up really, really well, put it into, you know, 9x13 pan and bake it up, and that will be delicious. And yeah, so that's something I want to do today. Shoot! I just realized I don't have any sugar. Peter made Kool-Aid last night. He's like, Mom, we're out of sugar. I was like, what? How did that happen? All right, so this was just one of my plans, but I didn't look through, or I didn't actually check my pantry before letting you know that this was what I was kind of thinking. So this is all I have for cocoa, which is not even enough to make one more recipe, and I don't have the sugar. So, but I did get all the other ingredients in here. I'm just going to sift them. These are the containers I have. These are like these, I don't know what they're called, Ready Freeze or Ready Save or something like that. They're, you know, like freezer safe and everything. And I did order a pack of 24-25 from Amazon. I love them because, see, I can write on them with Sharpie, and then it actually, I can kind of wash, and if I rub hard enough, I can get it off and relabel them with something else. And here is the powdered vanilla that I'm using. So this is just, yeah, powdered vanilla. So it works great in something like this, or if you want to make like your own homemade hot chocolate mix, that type of thing, it works really great. I'm going to get some sugar and some baking cocoa. It is time for me to do my once a month big grocery haul. So this was my idea, was to mix it up in here. But like I said, it isn't going as planned at all. At a later date, I will revisit this when I have the ingredients all, like I have enough of my ingredients and I can really kind of show you what I'm doing. But, well, change of plans here. Warren's in town. I might call him and see if he can pick me up some sugar. All right, I have to take that back. I called Warren, and actually he left the phone here. So I'm not really sure how that all is going to work as far as the brownies, unless I have somebody run just to get sugar for today. I'm going to have to rethink my plan. Okay, I'm over the fact that I'm completely bummed about the brownie mix not working out the way I wanted it to work out today. Anyway, that's life. But I did realize that my taco seasoning jar is completely empty. I have a video dedicated just to the taco seasoning mix way back from probably like 2017, but I also have it in my cookbook on page 70, and I'm going to make that up. I like to make it in this little container here because it has a pour spout, and then once it's all mixed, I will pour it right into this pint jar. If I put all of the ingredients in here, I just don't have enough space to mix it, so I mix it up in here and then pour it in here. The nice thing about this little pitcher is it has the measurements right on the side. So, for example, for the chili powder, I can just measure out the 1.5 cups right here.
Hi, buddy.
What are you eating, Joe?
Carrots.
Carrots.
Hi, buddy.
So just for reference, it's about 3 of these containers. One of them wasn't totally full, but these two from Aldi are 2.5 ounces. This one from Walmart is 3 ounces. So, and I used all of that. But like I said, the first one was not completely full. So then I'm just going to layer on, since it's over the 1.5 cup mark, I'm just going to layer this on almost to the 2 cup line. And then we're going to do 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, and 2 tablespoons of cumin. So just mix real thoroughly, getting all the way to the bottom and pulling up all that chili powder. What I have going here is I put in the carrots, the celery, and the potatoes into the Hug and Kiss, or into the meat. And a Hug and Kiss soup, I had, recently I think somebody asked again, how did it get its name? Well, when Warren was little and his mom would make this soup, she always called it Hug and Kiss because it's just so good. It's like getting a great big hug and kiss from your mom. So anyway, I brought up 2 things of tomato juice, and if you don't have home canned tomato juice and you use store-bought, my recommendation would be to thin it just a little bit, because store-bought tomato juice is a lot thicker than home canned tomato juice. So I guess it really depends if you like it really tomatoey. If I use home canned, I don't thin it, but if I use store-bought, I do. So I'm gonna put in, actually, I'm not going to put that in quite yet. I have to put in the 8 cups of water right now and then bring this to a boil. I don't know why I was thinking that, but anyway, so I'm going to bring this to a boil. I'll add the salt, the pepper, the bay leaf, and the beef bouillon. Bring it to a boil, and then after it simmers away for about 20 minutes or until the potatoes are soft, then I will add in the tomato juice, and then that'll be it. Now you can add in little macaroni or little shell noodles if you want. My kids like it when I add barley. Last time I made it, I believe I added barley, so I'm gonna make it just plain this time. I mean, Warren and I, we like it plain, and so, but we like it with barley too. Okay, anyway, you can do it however it is that you want for your family. I see. Are you a chipmunk? So the other day I made a double batch of the peanut butter cookies, and so she's just putting 20 of them on a pan. What does it say here? 375 I wrote on here for 8 minutes. So I'll get the oven preheating to 375. This is a great way to still have a treat even when we don't have any white sugar in the house, right?
I'm glad we made them.
The soup has come to a boil. What I'm going to do now here is so I'll just turn the heat down, put the cover on, simmer it for about 20 minutes until the potatoes are tender, and then I will come back, like I said before, and add in the tomato juice. I'm waiting for my turkey to cool a little bit before I can pull it off the bone, and so I thought that what I would do is start making some cranberry juice. This is a really simple way to make cranberry juice. So you just take nice clean jars and you put 1 cup of cranberries in here and then fill it with boiling water. Put a lid, put a ring, put them in the boiling water canner for 15 minutes, and then I'll just let them rest on the canning shelves in the basement for at least a month, you know, before we break into it. Now you can add sugar to it if you'd like, but you know, I'm out of white sugar right now. So anywhere from a half to a cup of sugar, depending on how sweet you think that you would like your juice. So what I have going over here is my water bath canner. I have it filled and it's heating right now. And then I have a couple kettles of water going here for boiling water. I have my jars over here. I'm just going to start measuring out a cup of cranberries into each jar and then cover it with the boiling water. Now that these are full with water, a 1/4-inch headspace, what I'm going to do is just wipe the rim. This has vinegar on it. I just wipe the rim, put a lid on, and oh, I have to get my rings, but then I'll just put a ring on finger tight, and as soon as I have 7 of them, I will get them into my water bath canner. That's why I'm doing 14, because I figured 2 canners full, and that will be, that'll be good for today. I wanted to take a minute right now and just share with you how we will actually serve up this juice. So this is just going to be straight cranberry juice. It's going to be a pretty thin juice, a little bit different than when I use my juicer steamer, and that is a thicker, much more potent juice. So after a month of setting on the shelves, what I'll do is I'll just, you know, pop the lid and then I will strain it. So usually what I do is just kind of hold the lid, you know, and strain it into another quart jar, or if I'm going to open up a couple quarts at one time, I'll strain it into like a bigger pitcher. And then depending on what we want, I mean, if we're going to make something like a mixed drink, we'll just use the straight cranberry. I mean, I don't like a lot of extra sugar if I'm making like a mixed drink or something. If we're going to serve it with breakfast, some of us might sweeten ours a little, some will just drink it straight. I also can add sugar to the whole pitcher if I want to make, like, you know, a sweetened cranberry juice. You could really sweeten it any way you want. We tend to just use white sugar, but seriously, you could use You could use honey, you could use maple syrup, you could really use anything. You could use like a stevia or something like that to sweeten it up as well. So that's how we'll be serving this, and yeah, it works really well. Sometimes there's a couple seeds in the juice, so you know, if you're real picky like that, you might want to strain it through cheesecloth so you get out those seeds. We're not real concerned about that. We kind of call it a rustic juice, right? Or a country juice. So that's how we'll be serving it. I think this is, let's peek. Oh, there's just a couple bubbles coming. So in just a minute or two, I'll set my timer to 15 minutes, let that do its thing, then I'll load up the other jars. So I pulled all the turkey off of the bone. Yeah, and wild turkey is really not all that easy to work with. But anyway, it is off the bone. It's very dark. Warren actually commented it looks more like beef. But yeah, wild turkey, the legs, the thighs, the dark meat, it's very, very dark. Anyway, this is just the broth that it made. So I have it just sitting there in that right now. And what I thought I would do, and I've done this before, but I've used turkey breast and just cut it into, like, you know, cooked it and then cut it into small pieces. And it was really good. I'm hoping that it's good with the dark meat. So what I have in here, I have 1 box of this turkey flavored stuffing. And then I have just breadcrumbs that I dried myself, so those don't have any seasoning. So I did add in a little bit more sage, some poultry seasoning, some salt, and then a full stick of butter, because this called for a half a stick and what I put in was equivalent to that. So I thought, well, we'll put in a full stick of butter. I put 3 cups of water in. I'm going to microwave this, let it, you know, just kind of get nice and hot, and then I'll layer it up in a casserole dish. And I think that's what we're going to end up having for supper tonight. So the potatoes finished up in the electric pressure cooker, otherwise known as an Instant Pot if you have like the name brand one. And anyway, I dumped out most of the water that's in here, and I mean, I do keep a little bit of it in there, but I'm just going to add some milk and butter, and we're going to get these all mashed up. I'll let them cool just a little bit before I start putting them into Ziploc bags. I have it right here. It's 6 o'clock now, and we are having some supper, so we are going to have this turkey and stuffing casserole. And then since we had mashed potatoes and I haven't packaged them up yet, I'm still kind of waiting for them to cool more. I thought, let's have mashed potatoes too. Yep, you have a nice watch. Show it to us. What time is it?
5.
5 what?
5, 2.
Something is wrong. You have that in military time.
10 to 5.
There's Warren's plate. So, all right, we're going to give this a try. I hope it's good.
It'll be great.
It's the next day now, and I wanted to just keep this video going with a little bit more meal prep. So sometimes I don't necessarily want to make an entire casserole or an entire meal or something like that, like the whole recipe. Sometimes what I like to do is to just prep different parts of meals so that I have things ready to go. So on the day of, then I can just quick put together, like the rest of the meal or the rest of that recipe. So what I have here in my Instant Pot right now is a whole chicken. We got dishes again going in the background. I usually put about 1 cup of water in here with this, and then I don't have it on the trivet or anything like that. I'm just going to close this up. We're going to set it to, pressure. I will set this to pressure cook. I like to do it on high. Whoops, pressure level. High, back to pressure cook. Minutes. We're going to put this in for 25 minutes. That will be plenty of time for a whole chicken like that. I just want it to get nice and soft so that I can pull all that meat off the bone. And I will just keep the meat in a container in the refrigerator. And then another day this week, I will put together chicken noodle soup. It'll just be really nice to have all of that ready to go and not have to do that on the day that I want to make the soup. I'll also save that liquid that's in here, whatever kind of like broth or stock that it makes by pressure cooking. I'll save that to be the beginnings of the soup base as well. So now I'm actually going to get outside, but when I come back in, I also have about 7-ish pounds of ground venison, and I'm going to get that all cooking up with some onions, diced onions, so that I have all of my taco meat for the month, because we are going to do Taco Tuesdays. So we're going to do nachos one day, we're going to do tacos one day, we are going to do, what was the other thing? Taco something. I can't remember anymore. And then I want to try a new recipe for something called a tostada pizza or a tostada pie, something like that. So I just thought if I could have all of, taco salad was the other day. So if I could just have all of my taco meat all cooked up, all put into little Ziploc bags, label what it goes for, then on that day I can still make the meal. So I wanted to give you a quick peek at the cranberry juice. It's already getting darker. I'm pretty certain that when I go back to look at the footage from yesterday that it was a lot lighter. So it is really nice, and that's why I like to let this set for 30 days on my canning shelf before using it, although Peter was already asking to open it, and so we'll be lucky if it gets 30 days. So now that all of the meat is cooked, what I'm going to do is divide it up between these 4. I may have to bring out a 5th or a 6th container, but these are just those little freezer containers I have, and then I will put the taco seasoning right on top. So then when it's time to have our Taco Tuesday nights, then I can just kind of change up the meat a little bit, because I do make our nacho meat a little different than I make our taco meat. I can just kind of change it up however I need to when I get a container out of the freezer, but it'll at least all be ready, and it will be at least seasoned part way. I just pulled all the meat off the bone, off the carcass of the chicken, and now actually I can't throw that away. So what I'm decided to do, I'm going to add that back to this water. I'm going to fill it up to the top, and then I'm just going to slow cook this until maybe tomorrow night, so about 24 hours. And then I will strain all of the bones out, and I will use that stock that I make, and I will make that into the chicken soup. So it's just to get all the flavor out of that. And I know that there's going to be a few more bits of meat that I'll be able to get off the bones if they're cooked even longer. And so, yeah, I don't always do that. Sometimes I just pitch it, but today I just feel like I have the time, so I am going to take the time to do that. I realize I forgot to tell you before that I did put quite a bit of salt, some peppercorns, and a bay leaf in with the, in with the chicken bones and things like that. So it's Sunday evening now. We just finished supper. We had leftovers from last night, which was the turkey and stuffing casserole. We all really, I think we're all really liking that. Yes, Joe really likes it, and Maria likes it. I like it, Warren likes it. I think Peter's a little about it. We also had that fruit pudding salad that I made, and that was really good too. I really like that. Peter wanted it with just all cherries, and Maria wanted more bananas. So everybody had their, what they thought that would make it better.
Graham crackers and milk.
And you just want graham crackers and milk?
Yay!
Okay, for breakfast tomorrow. So with that, I'm going to end tonight's video, or this weekend's video, of just kind of like prepping some things ahead and just spending some time in the kitchen here. I just encourage you also to take a little bit of time in your kitchen and make some doubles of things, or just kind of prep some little meal parts ahead of time. It's one way that you can really save yourself from extra running to the restaurants and things like that. I find if I have things ready to go, we are far more likely to come home and eat rather than, you know, swinging by a restaurant if we happen to be in town. So with that, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.
See you next time.